from Manzini in the Kingdom of Eswatini by the name of Mzwaa, whose music is driven by the burning desire to bring hope and healing through captivating lyrics. His love for music was inspired by his parents, who are avid lovers and collectors of music. And he's bringing us fresh new vibes, especially with this particular single released this very month. Mzwaa joins us on the line. You can check him out on our live stream as well on Facebook and on YouTube. Good morning, Mzwaa. How are you?
Good morning. Fine, thanks. And yourself?
Doing great. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Great song. I love it. I don't know if Sanila told you that she's been on the show as well. So great people coming together to make good music.
Yes, thank you for having me. Yes, she did mention it. So yeah, I'm glad to be here as well.
All right, let's speak about you. We, have profiled artists all over the African continent. And the beautiful thing is that we're able to, bring you in as a new artist to some of those in other parts of the continent that might have not heard of you before. And of course, obviously reignite the love of your music for those who have. So who is Mzwaa and how did you, figure out your place in the music world?
Good question. So Mzwaa, as you've already mentioned, is an R&B singer-songwriter from the Kingdom of Eswatini. I've always had a love for music from a young age. I don't come from a musical background, but I was always surrounded by music. Growing up, my dad playing jazz, hip hop music, my mom with the Motown, with the soul. So growing up really from think maybe as far back as like 6 years old. Not too sure about that one. I've always been like exposed to this music, reading lyrics on the CD sleeves and the likes, So music for me has always been a personal thing. It took me a long time though to fully get into it because even at school, I wasn't in the school choirs and the likes. It was just my thing. When I get back home, I just play this music or I watch these videos and I benchmark my talent against these, worldwide superstars. Yeah.
And I mean, when did that tune first come up? You're like, okay, let me sing this song. Did you remember when that moment was?
I can't really pinpoint it, but I can. One thing I'm sure of is Michael Jackson is probably involved somewhere.
Not Boys to Men in between there.
Boys to Men, obviously, they all, later on, but Michael Jackson was the blueprint, really, all black households. Michael Jackson was always the CDs where they are from Thriller, You're Bad, and everything.
Yes.
So siblings were we performing these songs, like it's like our own version of karaoke, just singing the songs, the lyrics. We didn't even entirely grasp all the lyrics at that time, but it was just like, okay, this is really cool. Then obviously there were other influences, early 2000s, your Boys to Men, like you've mentioned, your Craig David, your Usher.
Okay.
There's a like, and I think, but my earliest influence, I'd say, is Michael Jackson, but my biggest influence is probably D'Angelo. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And we just lost D'Angelo this year.
Yes.
Big loss to the music industry. It's one thing to sing for yourself and with your siblings, and then you kind of like, okay, I'm hearing something here. People say I'm good at this. How did you start noticing that you've got a gift?
I started noticing, funny enough, I think it was church. And, as a young kid, I always had the notion that if you're a girl, then you can automatically sing. Like I used to believe every girl can sing. Until I got the shock of my life in church. I was like, man, okay, this is not sounding like it's supposed to sound. But her voice is so, soft. It should be easy for them to sing. And then I realized actually not everyone can do this thing. I think I was around 12, 13 at that time. Yeah, but then fast forward to my late teens, that's when I started like dabbling in writing music and everything. I used to be part of a collective. We used to produce house music, soulful house music with my friends. I think we're around 19, 20 at that time. We're students in Pretoria. And then after that, I just shelved everything because it's pretty difficult explaining at home that I want to do music because they don't have a success story they can reference, from where I come from to say this guy just went to study music and pursued it and followed their dream. So yeah, I think that stalled me a bit, but yeah, up until my early 20s, I can say, yeah.
Well, let's take a break. Mzwaa, stay on the line with us. We're going to uncover more of your musical journey to this point. It sounds like 2018 was a very significant year, and I want us to come back to some of those moments after the break.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Step into the heart of the day on the move with Palisa and Benjamin.
Hey, it's our music profile hour. It is a great conversation we're having with Mzwaa all the way from Eswatini. And we just heard that very funky one that he just released titled Caught Up. Beautiful music indeed from Mzwaa. We're finding out a little bit more about the artist today. Mzwaa, and then it's one thing when you kind of like, Manje, what do I do with this talent? Maybe they might not accept this. Maybe parents are not kind of comfortable with me pursuing this. How do you navigate having that gift, but saying, you know what, I actually want to do this. I'm not sure if everyone else will approve.
It's a good question, Benjamin, but it's quite tricky. My answer is not one size fits all because family dynamics are different. But it sounds cliche, but just go for it, man. Just go for it. Someone in my position, I just made sure, Guti, I complete the studies. I'm here. Okay, this is what they paid for me to get. I'm like, guys, got the degree, but now this is my God-given talent. This is what I'd love to pursue. Can you please support me in this and as much as you can? That was it, really, but from that point on, because I lost my dad in 2017, I think that was maybe a turning point because I think a few weeks before his passing, we had this discussion to say it was timer. I got the diploma, I got the degree, but I'm not really passionate about this. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to pursue. And his response really shocked me at the time because he just asked me, what is your plan? And that for me was a huge deal because that meant, okay, maybe he's accepting that this is what my son actually wants to do. But he never really got a chance to experience that. I think then later on in that very same year in 2017, towards the end of that's when I was like, guys, this is it now. Okay. I have to do something. I have to do something. I have to introduce myself onto the scene.
Yeah.
At that time, there was an initiative called Friday Night Live with Sibebe, hosted by House on Fire. That's where they host the Bushfire Festival in Eswatini. So they used to have that. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me apply for this. I'll put together a band. Some of the local boys applied for it, but unfortunately, I didn't make it because I didn't have any music out. They didn't know what I was about and everything. So I was like, okay, no, that's fine. There's another thing coming up in March, Bushfire Firefly competition. So I was like, okay, guys, I'm going to enter this one. I'm going to win it, and then I'm going to go to Bushfire. That's the plan. Yeah? But now we need to record a song. So 2018, beginning of the year, we go to the studio. We record my first single called I Got It. A week later, we submitted for this competition. We make the shortlist. I was like, okay, guys, just get me to the top 10, please. The rest, leave it up to me. Yeah, so I got the votes. I got there. I ended up winning that competition. And then fast forward to May in 2018, I performed at the Bushfire Festival. And then the following year, that's when I dropped my debut EP. Yeah, which also got me two SWAMA, which is the equivalent of SAMA awards, two SWAMA awards here in Eswatini. Yeah.
Love that. Well, it sounds like you did a lot of planning, because someone would say, yeah, that's an overnight sensation, right? From entering a competition and then you go on Bushfire, then you're releasing music, and it's all happening in a short space of time. But what people don't know is the actual processes that you took, the planning that you took before that overnight success, in inverted commas, because it wasn't really overnight. Do you think people understand that the gravity of the amount of work and planning that goes into having a successful music career?
Yes and no. I think people have an idea, but once you're actually in it now and you have to do it, you find that it's not as easy. Also, a lot of people take for granted the need for a team around you, you know. It could be a formal team, which, okay, now you're signed people, something like that. Or it could be like-minded peers, you know, who push you to achieve these things, because I can speak here for myself, but this wouldn't have been possible without some people like helping me, you know, put this together, put that together. So support structure above everything is very important. But yeah, you really, really, really have to put in the work.
All right, we need to enjoy some of the music. When did you start recording? What kind of work do you have out there? And where can people find you online?
Great. Okay. So across all music platforms, it's Mzwaa, MZWAA. So it's Mzwaa, not Mzwaa. Mzwaa. I should roll off the tongue.
All right.
I record music in both Siswati and English. I've got an upcoming project, long-awaited project, dropping later this year. It should be the first half of the year. So we've got another single lined up for March, and then there'll be a lot of music from Mzwaa to look forward to this year. Yeah.
Nice one. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. What a pleasure. And we're looking forward to hearing more of your projects that are coming out in the year 2026. Thank you for hanging out with us, Mzwaa.
Thank you so much, Palisa, Benjamin.
Fantastic. We're going to sign out with Ngilozi. And this one features Original. Interesting, original name there.
Original.
All right, let's hear more music by Mzwaa.
When I get kofana nawe lena yingilosi yam noma angangicela soze akusela wena uyingilosi yam okwaze kwalula kukuthanda Sange ngibone ngidiva kanjena tshela ngengilosi yam wena akekho fana nawe lena yingilosi yam noma angangicela soze akusela wena uyingilosi yam okwaze kwalula kukuthanda yingilosi yam sange ngibone ngidiva kanjena tshela ngengilosi yam wena akekho fana nawe lena yingilosi yam noma angangicela soze akusela wena uyingilosi yam okwaze kwalula kukuthanda, yeah.
A beautiful one by Mzwaa that just joined us here. Eswatini, Stand Up. This is one of your own, and hopefully everyone else across the African continent. Let us know what you think about this one. I think the music is good. I love it. Super smooth.
Very
Smooth. And the great thing about music is that it doesn't have to be in a language that you understand. I mean, I understand it. I can hear it because there's so many similarities, but I'm sure not everyone might understand the language. But music will tell you what the vibe and the feel of the song is. So definitely a lot of love in the air with that particular one.
We are lovey-dovey on this Friday edition of On The Move. Well, if you enjoyed that, let us know what you feel about that music. Remember, you can always touch base with us on our live streams and give us commentary on the comment sections or use our WhatsApp number. Hey, let's wrap up the morning sports updates. Let's start off with our sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
We begin with football news. Betway Premiership side TS Galaxy coach Adnan Beganovic has welcomed the lifting of the club's FIFA transfer ban, clearing the way for the registration of new players for the remainder of the 2025-2026 season. The Rockets were sanctioned once again in December after the World Football Governing Body ruled against them in a contractual dispute involving Liberian forward Jack Bay Morris. Speaking ahead of their Nedbank Cup last 16 clash against Mamelodi Sundowns on Saturday, Beganovic confirmed that the club will soon be announcing fresh reinforcements.
I have information. We sort all our FIFA bans. We are now on zero, and then we have opportunity to register all players what we have, what actually train with us from the beginning, and then club will be announced, I think today or tomorrow, all players that we sign. And then also it can be positive for us, and then our squad gets some quality players, and then competition and concurrence between players it can be better. What I want actually to every players and fight for every position in the team.
On to boxing news. Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr. have reportedly agreed on a tentative location and date for their exhibition bout. According to multiple reports, the fight will take place in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Africa, on the 25th of April 2026. Kinshasa, Congo, formerly Zaire, is well known for the Rumble in the Jungle event, which featured Muhammad Ali and George Foreman for the heavyweight championship in 1974. The match was first announced in September 2025, with few details about the event circulating. When a match between Mayweather and Mike Zambidis was announced for the 27th of June in Athens, Greece, the likelihood of the exhibition seemed uncertain. On to canoeing. South African canoeist Andy Beckett says he's not trying to focus on the potential milestone awaiting him at the 2026 Dusi Canoe Marathon. The 75th edition of Africa's greatest canoe marathon got underway on Thursday in Bishopstow Hall in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province. With Beckett gunning